Hi, everyone. I'm Lauren Culp, the publisher and CEO at CUInsight, and I am thrilled to be joined today by a very special guest from Shield Compliance, the President and Chief Operating Officer, Tony Repanich. We're going to be talking about cannabis banking today, so this is a conversation you will not want to miss. Tony, how are you? Thanks so much for joining me.
Good. Thanks for having us today. Good to see you.
You as well. Well, we're excited. We've got some interesting stuff to talk about today. I'm actually going to go ahead and kick it right off with the first question. I'm wondering, what are some of the biggest misconceptions that credit unions have about cannabis banking? I know that's at Shield Banking, that's a lot of what you do.
Yeah, I mean, at Show Compliance, that's probably the conversation we have every day with our customers and prospects. I think it really starts with the first one is, well, maybe we can't do it, but really there is a playbook that's been developed for credit unions that want to get into the space. They have the ability to pass those compliance exams and meet the requirements that have been outlined in the FinCEN memo. And so whether it's the complexity of account onboarding or really the real fun, monitoring these accounts over the lifetime that you work with these customers, there's a path forward to do that. And so for us, it's really about how do we help those financial institutions then bring data and workflows to that process so they can have efficiency in how they engage this clientele.
That makes a lot of sense. Well, I'm curious, is there any benefit? I know there's a lot of concern from some of the folks I've talked to about federal legalization. So is there any benefit for credit unions to really wait for federal legalization before getting involved in the industry?
Well, federal legalization is inevitable. And really the first path of that legalization is really the recognition by the federal government of what's happening in all of these states. And with the last election, there's even more of those states now where this activity is occurring. However, the BSA AML requirements, the sort of heavy lifting that needs to happen, won't change with that legalization. If you think about the risks associated with the cannabis industry, it's an industry that existed long before legalization. So you're really having to guard against those dollars coming into the banking system. You've got complexity of a product that can go from a legal market to an illicit market. And so again, the credit unions have to guard against that kind of activity transacting at their financial institution. And then lastly, just the nature of the industry, it's ripe for unsavory people to try to attach themselves to these businesses. And so even with recognition at the federal level, you're still going to have a requirement to have this stepped up BSA AML compliance. So for the credit unions we work with today, what they see is, hey, right now I can get in and get a first mover advantage. I can get those low cost deposits, that non-interest income that they're all craving, right? And it gives them the ability to build expertise and scale and efficiency before they have more competition.
Right. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I think as credit unions, what a better way to serve your community, and then to be able to get in as that first person, like the early arriver to that market, makes a lot of sense. Well, I'm curious then, Tony, what's the process for credit unions that want to get started or at least want to learn more about cannabis banking? Do you have any recommendations?
I think for the credit unions that are interested in this, it really first has to be tied to a core business objective, right? Banking the cannabis industry is not an easy process, right? We're here to help at Shield, add data and workflows and expertise around the process. But at the end of the day, banking cannabis has to tie into your core business objectives. So is that around building expertise in business banking? Is that about driving low cost deposit generation or expanding your ability to raise non-interest income? Or maybe all of those. And even some of the credit unions we work with today are saying, maybe it's an opportunity for earning assets. But again, there's going to be days when you're in the cannabis banking where you're like, this is a lot of work and this is hard work. It takes a lot of dedication to do it. And so you've got to be able to tie it back to those core objectives that drive the business for the credit union. So it really starts in the boardroom, about board education, clearing up a lot of those misconceptions about cannabis and cannabis banking, educating them so they can understand the risk, make those business decisions and see where it ties in to their core business strategy. And then it's about engaging experts. There are a number of folks that in the BSA AML space, the audit area, even cash transit and operations that we partner with to help make sure that when you implement this at your credit union, you're not creating a big cost burden for the credit union and you're building it smartly so that it can grow and expand and be a good line of business in addition to being highly compliant. And so we say start with experts like Shield and we'll help you get there.
Well, what a great resource for all the credit unions out there who are thinking of getting involved in the cannabis banking industry. And like you said, now is the best time because there is less competition, and to be an early arriver in that market would be amazing. So, well, if anyone has any questions, we'll point them your way. Tony, anything else that you want to leave the audience with today? Any last?
I think what I would leave the audience with is there's an opportunity and expectation with regulators that you're using technology to build this line of business, and relying on a single person to help you build out your cannabis banking program within your credit union is a heavy lift. So look at partners like Shield to help you build out that team and the technology that helps drive efficiency and compliance for your organization.
That sounds perfect. Well, Shield Compliance, everyone, such a great resource in case you're considering cannabis banking. So we highly recommend you check them out. If anyone has any questions, again, we'll send them your way. But Tony, thank you so much for joining me today, and I look forward to the
Thank
next
you.
time.
We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you. Take
Thank
care.
you.